Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University.
Dear students, I, Dr. Rajni Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, welcome you all from Chaitanya Studio of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University. Today, we will be discussing about the opportunities and challenges of mobile journalism as we of the paper number MA Journalism of paper that is digital media, social media and immersive media. So today we will discuss about the mobile journalism and the challenges and the opportunities of mobile journalism. So mobile journalism and opportunities and challenges. When we talk about opportunities and challenges, let's start with the opportunities first, dear students. That opportunities of mobile journalism are Mojo, which simplifies and production, dissemination and receptions. It enables citizen journalism and participatory reporting and interactive and engaging through social media. So direct connection between journalist and audience. And now we call it, this is called solo journalism, where reporter handle all aspects with a mobile tool. And another point of this opportunities and challenges of mobile journalism are affordable and portable compared to traditional equipment, hyper local stories with possible on location reporting, like example Oh My News, CNN iReport, Nokia Writers and Mojo Trial. So when we talk about the opportunities, the journalist Mary Angelo Bock argues that Mojo specifically is most famous iteration, that is video journalism, is a natural outgrowth of media convergence. Media convergence here is believed to be the product of the manifestation and technology, dear students, and organization and presentation, essentially conveying that the availability of sophisticated mobile devices which include media features made the need for specialized technology of multiple devices which drops significantly, if not complete, obsolete. That is perhaps the greatest opportunity that Mojo provides, as it streamlines production, dissemination and reception of journalism. The method is then not limited to traditional media structures and the erstwhile audience, which has become a chance to become the contributor. It has thus led to the rise of citizen journalism as eyewitness images and videos aided coverage. The evolution of this subfield is credited to South Korea, where the first website hosting amateur-generated reports, Oh My News, was launched. However, participatory journalism predates the internet to when eyewitnesses' visuals were used as source to supplement reporting. One of the earliest examples of this symbiotic relationship as realized digitally dates back to 2006 when CNN launched iReport, a platform which urged citizens to submit user-generated videos and photos to the network. The journalist Kevin Close defined journalism as nothing more or not less than the witnessing by one person of something happening in an event, an occurrence, a manifestation of an idea or an emotion, and bearing witness of that to someone else. In this way, citizens who are at the front lines with the help of technology provided by their mobile phone, pad tech, in journalistic methods. So, dear students, however, Mojo bridges the gulf between journalist and audience in another important way, which leads to opportunities in the technological aspects of the field. The medium of mobile as well as the medium of broadcasting, that is social media, has made journalism significantly more interactive. Media companies further capitalize on the nature of mobile media by personalizing content and running targeted stories that lead to more clicks, and that is more eyes on their website. Further, the journalists themselves are openly available on social media platforms where they can be contacted after story is published, or the journalists themselves can source via social media. This has led to far greater engagement and involvement and connection between reporters and their audience, which is no longer a passive receiver. An important aspect of Mojo is that professional journalists can act as solo journalists using mobile methods. That is, they become in charge of all aspects of production on the phone. For this subset, Mojo provides an unprecedented geographical or physical accessibility and technological ease. They can work on location as opposed to the newsroom, thus providing the opportunity to have more engaged hyper-local stories. This increase in mobility is made possible both because of the software technology that makes multi-step processes simple, but also because mobile devices are increasingly more portable and affordable. A single phone is much cheaper than a professional camera, and media outlets thus also employs professional solo journalists in cost-saving measures. One of the earliest instances of professional journalists using mobile devices as tools came to light in 2007 when Nokia and Reuters partnered to experiment with Mojo. In a trial, selected reporters were given mobile toolkits which included a Nokia N95 smartphone, a small tripod, a keyboard, and a solar battery charger. They then used the tools to cover various events like the New York Fashion Week and the Olympics in Beijing in 2008. So, when we talk about the challenges, it is less intrusive but requires careful storytelling. And under the challenges of mobile journalism, there is a risk of censorship and surveillance in authoritarian states. And there is a dependence on social media which makes Mojo vulnerable to restrictions and objectivity and verification issues with citizen journalism. And there is a bias in eyewitness reporting and framing. And there are cases of misinformation, like the example, the Boston Marathon in 2013 and misidentification. Then the challenges, under the challenges of mobile journalism, there is a need for accountability and self-regulation in citizen journalism. So, when we talk about the challenges of mobile journalism, smartphone, cameras or tools are less effective than professional equipment. Extra toolkits, lenses and mic tripods add cost and reduce mobility. So, dear students, the challenges, the use of these simplified devices and more agile reporters also leads to less intrusive reporting than the traditional camera and mic setup allows. This can be lensed as a form of psychological accessibility, as interviewees are less intimidated and the follow-up is more conversational than traditional film intersection. A historic pioneer of the method was the photographer Henry Cartier-Bresson, who shaped the modern street photography. By using portable mobile film camera, and mobile journalism presents reporting with a great storytelling opportunities, as videos and photo testimonies can create significant impact. Past examples have also showed that Mojo is capable of mobilizing and shaping public opinion. The biggest example cited here is Arab Spring of the early 2010, which is discussed in detail in the next section. While Mojo can be used to direct collective action, it also provides a new way of control and government interference. Example abound in authoritarian states where censorship of social media has become praxis. As Mojo leaves a digital footprint, it is easier to trace the sources. In the same way, in the Hong Kong pro-democracy demonstration of 2014, the Chinese administration student traced and intimidated the bloggers who reported the protests, with some instances leading to jail sentences. Furthermore, Mojo, especially citizen journalism, is dependent on social media for dissemination of information. Authoritarian can easily block access to certain websites or even revoke internet access in areas so as to muzzle journalistic voices. So, citizen journalism eventually becomes the only source from the front line, as journalists lose access because of institutional blocks. For example, in Syria, news media use citizen reporters to enter otherwise uncharted territory. This reliance on citizen journalism, journalists and Mojo, especially in contested spaces, lead to another fundamental challenge: maintaining the objectivity and neutrality. Verification of leads and facts become a more complex process, especially in hastily gathered material by people who are not trained to be journalists. Further, as citizens themselves become the source of images and videos, there is an inherent agenda in each image. This is because more often than not, the citizen who are those linked to or directly shaped by whichever event they are recording. Thus, the way they frame, compose, and caption these images will always have a bias. Whether it's negative or positive, there is always a challenge for professional journalists and the audience at large to interpret the images objectively, especially if the audience itself is impacted by the event. The personal testimonies then can reinforce already prevalent opinions with no critical analysis. Another fallout of the lack of accountability is the higher chance for vigilantism. Sudden engagement by citizen reporters with zero system of checks and balances can lead to irresponsible reporting, dear students. For example, in the aftermath of the 2013 Boston Marathon bombing in USA, as bystander of the event subverted their roles to take on investigation. They misinterpreted sources and falsely accused a student, Sunil Tripathi, of being the bomber, which led to online vilification and physical threats. Thus, while Mojo has held to account traditional centralization of information, it also needs to be systematic. As the journalist Misha Barban Dangerfield states, that if citizen journalism has emphasized the creation of a new counterpower, it can be argued that there is a responsibility to self-regulate, to restrain the role to that of eyewitness, and not to descend into a simplified forms of collective justice. Further, the technological aspects that makes Mojo an attractive alternative can negatively affect narratives, as smaller devices lead to obstruction of camera angles and awkward framing. Moreover, the academic Panu Hunan likes the use of mobiles in journalism as to the concept of a Swiss army knife. A knife that forms part of a multi-tool is not as good as a proper knife, and a bottle opener is not as a good proper bottle opener. In the same way, the camera on a phone is not as good as a proper video or still camera. It is just good enough to get the things done. To counter the gaps created by minimal technological professional journalists who have to carry extensive toolkit around, which includes several devices like lenses, microphones, tripods, etc. While effectiveness of the story is increased, the challenge the mobile offered in the medium by not only adding a physical burden but also adding to cost associated with the story. So, dear students, with this I come to end of this topic, which was the challenges and opportunities of mobile journalism. Until we discuss some other topic of my paper, that is mobile journalism, digital journalism and immersive media, that we will discuss in our next lecture. Till then, I say thank you to you and thank you for your patience. Jai Hind.